Hello, and thank you for joining the Understanding Resumes workshop, sponsored by Helping Veterans and Families of Indiana, also known as HVAF. If you are a veteran seeking housing or employment services, you may contact us at 317-951-0688. We are located at 964 North Pennsylvania Street in Indianapolis, Indiana. Let's review the agenda for this workshop. Our goal today is to assist you to gain a better understanding of why a resume is vital to your employment success and how your resume can quickly grab the employer's attention by presenting your best skills for the position the employer posted. Our agenda will provide insight into the purpose of a resume, the necessary sections of a resume, how to maximize the impact of each section of a resume, how to consolidate information on a resume to highlight critical details employers are looking for, and how to ensure your resume gets results. We will also explore why you need a resume, what the differences are between a resume and a job application, and why you should complete both documents. What must be on a resume? What should not be included on a resume, how to shorten a resume, and tips to improve a resume. So what is the purpose of a resume? Think about it for a few seconds. The purpose of your resume is to receive a phone call from the employer or recruiter and be offered a telephone or in-person interview. To land the interview you want. But how do you land the interview? By sending a neat, concise resume packed with quantifiable skills and experience. Your resume should be a quick snapshot of your skills, experiences, education, and professional development that will prove to the employer that you are a match for the position you applied for. But what must a resume accomplish? A resume has to be specific to the job description or area. It needs to grab the employer's attention. It should make a great first impression. Provide a quick snapshot proving your skills match the employer's position. And provide a view of your training, education, and professional accomplishments. So congratulations, you got the phone call. Let's move on. Let's talk about job applications versus resumes and why you need both documents. I've often been asked, why should I send a resume if I'll have to fill out a job application? Some people assume that a resume and a job application contain the exact same detail. But in fact, a resume gives you an opportunity to shine. A job application gathers standardized information. A resume is a unique opportunity to showcase your skills. A job application serves as a listing and gathers information with little explanation of your skills. On a resume, you can change your resume and customize it to each specific job. A job application contains legal information such as your social security number and releases for other information, and a resume provides more detail about your specific experiences and qualifications. A job application compares everyone in the same light. A resume can be presented in a more individualistic way. A job application typically is filled out online or even on paper, and a resume is customized and sent to an employer. So now that we understand more about the difference between job applications and resumes, let's take a look at the key sections of a resume. Start at the top and follow along the resume on the right to learn the most important sections of a resume. Beginning at the top, your contact information is the first thing the employers see. This section must be accurate so the employer can quickly reach you. After your contact information, place your professional title so the employer knows what job you are applying for. Following that professional title, you need a professional summary, which is 3 or 4 sentences making a broad statement of your skills that match the specific job description you applied for. Go beyond that to include examples of your quantifiable accomplishments. Don't worry, we will explain each section in detail during this workshop. After your summary, key skills are inserted, placing the skills very close together. You should be able to list 9 to 15 great skills here that match the job description you are applying for. More on what types of skills to list later. Next, highlight your professional experience and showcase all the great employers you worked for in the last 10 to 15 years. Stay tuned, and I'll show you a neat trick to make your relevant positions more important. Finally, list your education, any trainings that you have that are relevant to the position you applied for, and any other professional development, including industry memberships like unions or other organizations. If volunteerism is relevant, then list it. Let's examine each section. Follow the red arrows as they appear in our contact information section. The largest sized font on your resume should contain your name in a prominent position. Be formal and do not use nicknames. List any acronyms for your degrees or certifications, like BS for Bachelor of Science, or in the case of our example, the letters CNCT are placed behind George R. Smith's name because he has attained a Certified Network Computer Technician certification. These acronyms confirm for the employer that you have the qualifications or skills on the very first line of your resume. Street addresses are no longer listed in your contact information. However, a city and state confirm for the employer that you are able to commute to the position they posted. Accuracy of your phone number is essential. List only one phone number, the one you answer consistently. Do not designate it as a cell or a home phone. Ensure your voicemail is professional. No music or inappropriate voicemails are allowed. Use your phone's generic voicemail so the employer can verify your phone number quickly. And please remember to clear out your voicemail when you are searching for work. Your email address must be professional and should not contain numbers from your birth date, which reveal your age to the employer, your address, or your social security number for privacy reasons. Do not use inappropriate or casual email addresses. This is a business transaction. The AOL, Hotmail, and Yahoo.com email addresses are outdated. Please create a gmail.com account. Appropriate email addresses might be johntSmith@gmail.com or sarahjohnson7@gmail.com. Inappropriate email addresses might be bigjohn@yahoo.com. Hobbies and sexual innuendos are not permissible. Another inappropriate email might be bloodydeerhunter@aol.com. Let's move on to the next section. We are now at the professional title section. A professional title is important to place on your resume to reassure the employer that you are applying for the specific job or job category they have posted a position for. If you have had multiple work experiences, you cannot leave your line cook job title on a resume for a warehouse associate position. You may have had a different title at another company, but performed the exact duties found on the employer's job description. Our professional title in this section is a lead computer support technician. Depending on the company, other similar titles may be a desktop support technician, a help desk technician, or a computer support specialist. So here's a hot tip. If you have read the employer's job description and performed the duties on their job description, you can list the exact title from the employer's job description on your resume. Let me make it a bit clearer. A CNA or Certified Nursing Assistant is a title widely held in the healthcare industry. At Franciscan Health and IU Health, a CNA is called a Patient Care Assistant. At Ascension St. Vincent, a CNA is called a Patient Care Technician. If you are a Certified Nursing Assistant, you can choose either of these job titles on your resume because they require the same skills. Choose the employer's exact title. Let's move on to the professional summary. The professional summary section is a great opportunity to persuade the employer to call you for an interview. At one time, we placed an objective on our resume. That objective told the employer what we wanted from them. In this competitive job market, your mission is to make it easy for the employer to understand what you have the capability to bring to their company if they interview and hire you. A professional summary consists of 3 to 4 sentences that showcase the skills you will bring to the company. To get the interview, you must highlight not just the skills you have, but the result of your work, your accomplishments in a quantifiable way. Hot tip number 2, quantify your accomplishments. Think of it this way. How much did you do? How long did you perform? Was your work faster than average, which saves the company money? What's your knowledge of the software or other systems the company uses? This is a great way to sell yourself to the employer. Notice the yellow highlights in our professional summary. Think about, as I read it, what the employer would miss out on if you did not include the yellow highlights. Certified network computer technician with 7+ years of experience who delivers results-focused outcomes, deploying, configuring, and supporting 25,000 plus global computing assets, maintained a 96% support ticket success rate, and resolved technical issues more than 27 minutes faster than the team average, expert level knowledge of Infogenesis, Revelation, and LAN Desk Management Suite. Don't forget to highlight your accomplishments with numbers. Let's move on to the key skills section, which most of us are familiar with. Most of us have utilized a key skills section on our resumes. This is our opportunity to show the employer 9 to 15 skills we possess that match their job description. You may be able to fit more skills, but keep in mind that your goal should be to keep your resume to 1 to 2 pages. Keep a few other things in mind here. These skills are short 1, 2, or 3 word skills, not sentences. List multiple types of skills, such as technical, soft, employability or people skills, and software knowledge. As a phlebotomist, can you draw blood? This is a technical skill. Are you team focused? This would be a soft employability or people skill. Do you have knowledge of Cerner, a patient information software system? That would be a software knowledge. Show that you are well-rounded, listing all 3 types of skills based on the job description. Your goal is to match as many skills in the job description as possible. If the skills appear multiple times in the job description, then you may list them in multiple sections on your resume. Hot tip number 3. Employers do not read across these columns which you use bullets on. They read down. This means that the column closest to the left margin is section 1, and it is the most important section of skills. The middle column is the next priority, and the far right column may or may not be read by an employer who will scan your resume from 7 to 10 seconds and make a decision on whether or not to call you. Now let's move on to the professional experience section. The professional experience section provides us with an opportunity to highlight the great employers we worked for. If you leave employers off your resume, you create gaps in your work history that employers will question. Now we will start in the professional experience section with Uber Technologies, Inc. Always look up the formal name of your past companies. You would not just list the word Uber on your resume, but the company's formal name, Uber Technologies, Inc. Utilize the month, year format in words or numbers for the tenure of your time at the company. This can also be helpful to complete job applications, which usually ask that you list the month and year for your tenure. List your actual job title at the company, and don't forget to quantify accomplishments. Under Uber Technologies, Inc., the job title is driver trainer. Every job should not have the same number of bullets. A good rule is to only create a bullet for experiences or knowledge that you can quantify. Moving on to ABC Computing, Inc. Do not write action verbs with the past tense if your current position is a position that you still hold. You will notice that for ABC Computing, the verbs are oversaw and achieved. But for Uber Technologies, which is a present position, the verb is to train. Stick to what is relevant to the position you are applying for. Notice the Uber driver does not mention driving in his job accomplishment, but the software he's training people on, which relates to the lead computer support technician position he is applying for. If you currently work in a different industry, list the most relevant transferable skills you can. In the interview, you can explain that you needed to meet financial obligations at the time and can now get back to the work that you love. Now it's time for a hot tip. Any type of training or management of people or processes is a transferable skill that you can list on your resume in any industry. Now we will highlight the education, training, and professional development section. The education, training, and professional development section is at the bottom of your resume and will usually receive a quick glance to verify an employer's requirement. List your qualifications in this section by relevance to the job position you are applying for. As an example, we have listed the Certified Network Computer Technician certification, which has been kept current, above the associate's degree because that certification is more relevant than the liberal arts degree for the lead computer support technician position. You will notice that the year that the associate degree was received is not listed and should not be listed if an employer can estimate your age when given the year. Hot tip number 5 time. If you studied for but did not receive a degree, you still have a college level education or some college. You should not attempt to hide that education from the employer. In place of the degree, in this case an associate's degree in liberal arts, simply write liberal arts -1 year to note that you have matriculated for 1 year. List your military experience without campaign names or dates which can identify your age. If you belong to a professional organization or club in your industry, list it, but do not list irrelevant clubs like Boy Scout leader. If you volunteer for an organization that the employer you seek supports, definitely list it to highlight that you already have a commonality with the company. We're almost at the finish line. Let's look at some do's and don'ts for resumes and then provide resources to help you build your resume. Let's take a look at the do's and don'ts of resumes. Do use a combination resume template, such as the template we showed in this workshop. This allows you to insert a great deal of information in a short amount of space. Customize every resume to the specific position that you are applying for to show the employer that you have the skills for that position. Make your email or your LinkedIn account hyperlinked so that an employer can click on it easily and contact you. Ensure that you test the hyperlink and know that it is going to go to the right place. Justify the dates that you worked for employers so that it is easy for the employer to identify your tenure at companies. Keep your resume to 1 to 2 pages, and if you are on a second page, you must put your first name and your last name and the position you are applying for on that second page. Remember, there's no staple when the employer prints out your resume. Use powerful action verbs, and there will be a list at the end of our resources to help you identify those action verbs. Include your soft employability or people skills because it's easy to get a job, but your soft skills help you to keep a job as you work with your fellow employees. Quantify your accomplishments so an employer knows how much you can do, how long you have done it, and they can understand what an asset you will be to their company. Print out your resume and proofread it. It is very easy to confuse words such as THEIR or THERE, which are both the word there. And use bullets on your resume to consolidate and save space. Now for the don'ts. Don't put your photo on your resume unless you work in a very artistic and creative field. Don't list your references on your resume or list references available upon request. Really, it takes up space on your resume that is so valuable. Don't use bolding on your resume too much. It confuses employers. Don't forget to spell check your resume. Don't use catchy words like go-getter, team player, fast learner. Employers now want you to list and quantify what you have done to prove that you've done these things, not just to say them. Don't tell lies or fabricate on your resume. Don't send the same resume to every job. It will frustrate you because you won't get responses from employers. Don't use the word I on your resume. Don't list experience out of date order. Employers like to look down in a chronological way, and if your date is out of order, it is confusing to them. And do not use block paragraphs. Block paragraphs are so consolidated, and employers are used to quickly looking at information in 7 to 10 seconds. So let's move on to the resources, and we will be done with this workshop. We've listed some valuable resources on this slide, and will provide an opportunity for you to take your phone out and take a picture. The resources that we have provided will help you to compose your resume, to find a great template, to use great action verbs, to insert the professional summaries, to look at sample resumes, and to see all the skills in a job description. To look at sample resumes, professional summaries, and perhaps even interview questions, go to coverlettersandresume.com. For great resume templates, go to Microsoft Word resume templates, which are free. For resume action verbs, themuse.com has a list of 185 powerful verbs that will make your resume awesome. And to see how all the skills in the job description are listed, use jobscan.co, not .com, but .co. This resource will list every skill in the job description and help you to match your skills to that job description. So we will give you additional time now to get your phone out and take a picture. Hope you got a great snapshot. Thank you for joining our Understanding Resumes workshop today. If you would like to contact Helping Veterans and Families, our phone number is 317-951-0688. Our address is 964 North Pennsylvania Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. Have a fantastic day.